How's it going? My name's Brandon, and I want to share with you today my thoughts on the new Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. So this shoe came out just this spring. I've started to see some people using it at marathons and half marathons, so I thought I'd better pick up a pair for myself to see if this shoe is up to the hype that everybody's kind of giving it. I run in several different pairs of Sauconys already, so I figured I should know whether this shoe fits into my current lineup or not. So let's talk about this shoe a little bit. I wasn't really sold on the initial color offering, but when I saw this high-vis orange, I knew I had to have it. So the camera may not do it justice, but this thing is bright orange, and I'm a sucker for orange, so I had to have it in my collection. So Saucony really considers this shoe an everyday training, speed type training shoe. It has an 8mm offset in it, which is a little steep for some folks, but I like that. It also has their PWR Run PB foam in it, which they say is a good balance between cushion and energy return. It has their speed roll technology off the bottom, which is nice. And they say it should have a little more rebound than some of their other shoes because it does have a winged nylon plate. So the nylon plate in the bottom has the little wings on it, which just helps add to stabilization, which is really nice. So overall, I took the shoe for a run today. I did some slow running, and then I did some speed intervals, and I really liked the shoe overall. So I think it fits in well with what I needed in a shoe for speed intervals and that type of work, because I race in a Endorphin Pro 3, which I really like, but I don't like putting a lot of miles on it because it is a carbon plated shoe. It is a little hard on my legs since I'm a 50-year-old man. So I wanted something with a little more cushion, but have a little more spring in it for my speed runs. And so I feel like this Speed 4 is gonna fit in well. Has this really nice gusseted tongue, really meshy all through the top. The shoe overall was very comfortable. I did feel like it was a little tight on my little toe. I do have a little bit wider feet, not enough to wear wide shoes, but it was a little wide or a little narrow on my foot. But it may stretch out just a little bit. I feel like my Endorphin Pro 3s did stretch out a little bit because there is so much give in the top of the shoe. So we'll see how they kind of break in as I start putting more and more miles on it. So overall, the shoe's really nice. It's foam and a nice combo of nice traction on the bottom, nice rubber overlay on the bottom, which makes it really nice. I feel like for wet conditions, it won't be super slippery like some of those shoes that are pretty much just all foam at the bottom. I like having some of that rubber insert in there, which is really nice. The lace is held in fine. It does have the thing that you can do the runner's tie if you want to. I never do that, but the shoe fits on my foot well. It has good heel. It felt a little firm in the front. It felt like the shoe was rocking like it's supposed to, but it did feel a little firm in the front, but it was my first run in it, so maybe it will soften up. So what I wanted to do is talk about why I would wear this shoe other than my Endorphin Pro 3. So here's my Endorphin Pro 3. This is their special Panda edition. So the Endorphin Pro 3, I weighed my shoes specifically. I wear an 11.5 in Saucony. I wear an 11 in most other brands, but in a Saucony I wear an 11.5 just to give myself a little bit more room in the toe box, and because they do run a little bit narrower, so I feel pretty comfortable in 11.5 in all of my Saucony shoes. So I weighed all of my shoes individually. The Endorphin Pro 3 came in at 8.6 ounces, where the Endorphin Speed 4 came in at 9.6 ounces. So 1 ounce heavier. Doesn't sound like a lot. It is 12%. If you're big into that type of thinking, it is 12% heavier than this shoe. But 1 ounce, most people can't tell the difference in 1 ounce of shoe. Probably won't affect you much. So it feels like a pretty good equal fit and feel compared to this one. Now I did feel this morning, what I did is I did my intervals, and I did half the intervals in this shoe after a warm up. Then I stopped and did the other half of my intervals in the Pro 3 so I could really get a back-to-back, and then I switched back to this for my cool down. So the big thing I noticed is that the Pro 3 still feels more springy. So this thing has a S carbon plate in it. and the shoe just really feels like it wants to spring you forward on each step, where you really feel like you got a lot of spring. This one doesn't feel like it has quite as much spring. You can see it gives a lot more than this shoe does. That is absolutely firm and solid. So you definitely don't get quite the pop out of this shoe, but overall it felt quick. My times were really exactly the same between the first intervals and the second batch of intervals. So overall, I feel like this is going to be a great shoe for me to use on all of my speedier runs, instead of putting a lot of miles on my Pro 3s, which I really try to just save for races at this point. But I haven't tried the new Pro 4 yet, so who knows what could happen there. But the Endorphin Pro 3, I've really been happy with it, so I'm going to stick with that for now for racing. And I'll start using the Speed 4 for my speedy interval work. For my daily trainer, I still run mostly in a Shift 3. So it looks like they've actually discontinued the Shift, but I've been really happy with the Shift. This shoe's probably got 200 miles on it so far. Still feels really good. Holds together really well. This shoe's even heavier though. It's 10.3 ounces compared to 9.6 or 8.6. But really, this shoe's marketed as an everyday recovery training shoe. It only has 4mm drop, so it's not quite as aggressive. It's not plated, and it just has their PWR run foam in it, not the PB foam, which is supposed to give you a little more spring, which both of the other shoes have. So compared to this shoe for my everyday running, I feel like I've done pretty good in picking up this Speed 4. So if you are in the market for a shoe that is a little more speedy, but don't want to spend over $200 for a carbon plated shoe, these retail for $170. I actually picked mine up at Big Peach Run Company here in Atlanta. I didn't even see this orange color on the Saucony website, but they had it at Big Peach Running, so I picked it up there. Great place to order some shoes from. Really happy with it, so we will see how it breaks in. But if you're on the fence of this shoe, I say plop down the $170, give it a shot. If you are into running a little bit faster pace and doing some interval work, probably not a great everyday shoe. I am, like I said, 50 years old, so I try to run in some really cushiony shoes. This one's not quite as cushiony as my Shift or even some of my Ons that I run in, but overall I feel like it's going to be a great shoe for the money and give me the ability to do my speed training without burning up my Endorphin Pro 3. So Saucony Endorphin Speed 4 comes in a bunch of different color combinations, but this High Vis Orange, everybody likes a bright running shoe, right? High Vis Orange is really cool. It's got these cool little things in the back. I kind of feel like this is the Nike effect, where everybody's got some cool design stuff happening in the back of the foam there. But overall, great shoe. Go out, grab a pair, give them a shot. I think you'll like them. Thanks for watching.